Hey there, friends. This is Marcella Silva, your Land Baroness here, and I'm here to shine a little light on what's happening around green energy and climate change here in the US. There's been a lot of interesting information coming out ever since the new administration came into office, and a lot of fear around what's happening with green energy projects, especially for those of you who own green energy land. I'm going to say congratulations. You bought a phenomenal asset that continues to be used for green energy projects, and it's not going to stop. So let's go back to basics. I'm not just making this up. Let's look at why this is. So it's all comes down to mandates here in California. We are buying land where land is needed most for many different reasons, including green energy. And specifically here in California, they have mandates. I'm not going to go over all of them, but their whole goal is to cut pollution, deploy clean energy and new technologies, and protect California as well as Californians from harmful oil drilling. So, Assembly Bill 1279, cutting emissions, Senate Bill 1020, reaching 100% clean energy by 2045, removing carbon pollution, Senate Bill 905 and SB 1314. Feel free to look those up. I'm just in the saving time realm. We want to get right to the point. Senate Bill 100, also 2045, powering all retail electricity sold in California with renewable zero carbon resources such as wind and solar that do not emit climate altering greenhouse gases. These are mandates, they are in the books, they are done, and we are continually pushing forward to meet these mandates here in California. California is not the only state with these types of mandates and not the only state with clean energy projects. Every state throughout the country has clean energy projects. And there's actually only one state beating California with solar energy projects, and that happens to be a red state, Texas. So, where is California in this clean energy movement? We are at two-thirds clean energy, 67%. This came out a few months ago, earlier 2025. However, take this number with a grain of salt. 12% of that is coming from nuclear. And California plans to close that nuclear, last and final nuclear power plant at Mount Diablo. And so we are at about 55% clean energy. Congratulations to California. Now, some people are worried about the big, beautiful bill that came out saying, oh, clean energy is going away. Clean energy is not going away. What's going away and what they're pulling back on is federal monies going to clean energy. They're not saying, no, you can't do clean energy. We're just not going to pay for it. Specifically, we're not going to give tax credits for clean energy projects. So, quick overview of this: clean energy investments, production, and tax credits. So, technology neutral tax credits for the investment in production of clean electricity generation and energy storage. This is what's most important for us, is no phase down in these tax credits. To receive these tax credits, solar projects must commence on or before July 2026. If not, be placed in service on or before December 2027. And this does not apply to battery energy storage systems, which those need a lot of land, by the way, and let me tell you, they pay a very pretty penny. We have been watching many of these battery energy storage projects as well as solar projects continue to be built, continue to acquire land. As a matter of fact, I just received this letter in the mail 2 days ago. Oh, we're building a 7,700 acre project, solar project. Here's the map, by the way, massive map. And my land is right there next to it. I bought that property for 3,400 per acre. The solar developer was buying land for upwards of over 100,000 per acre. Did I make money on my land? Yes. The value of it continues to rise, especially as there's less and less land available. That's the key thing to remember. And then advanced manufacturing products. If you're going to get the tax credit, they have to be manufactured in the same facility. Final product must be sold to an unrelated party. And final product must contain at least 65% by cost domestic manufactured content. It's always interesting how costs can be manipulated. Anyways, I'm not going to get into all of that. Nowhere in the big, beautiful bill does it say you cannot do solar projects. This was a recent article or statement, I should say, from the CEO and president of the Solar Energy Industries Association. The Treasury Department's new guidance to further restrict energy tax credits is part of an unprecedented side deal the administration made with anti-clean energy ideologues to undermine Congress and further harm America's solar industry. So all those fossil fuel companies, I think they're kind of in their death throes. They're doing whatever they can to keep their old technology going, which, by the way, is getting more expensive because this is a physical product that we have to pull out of the ground and which gets more and more expensive to do. Not to mention everything that it does to the environment. American families and businesses will pay more for electricity as a result of this action, and China will continue to outpace us in the race for electricity to power AI. Big deal, AI. If you have not seen my land banking webinar, please watch that. We go into much more detail, but think about it. These massive hyperscalers, data centers, those things are worthless without two assets, land and energy. We own the land needed for all of these things and helping people invest in it. More than $1 billion per day is actually being spent on new solar energy deployment, according to the International Energy Agency. And it's now estimated that the world is now installing 1 gigawatt worth of solar energy infrastructure every 15 hours, or about the output of a new coal plant. How long would it take to implement a new coal plant? I have no idea. Definitely not every 15 hours. And that's what's so beautiful about solar energy projects. They're easy to install, they are scalable, and they are the cheapest form of electricity in history, according to the International Energy Agency as of 2020, because this is a technology. And one thing we've learned about technology, it gets cheaper over time. Clean tech investments are expected to hit $670 billion in 2025, with solar leading the charge. So those of you who are uncertain about markets, there is one thing that is absolutely certain is we need energy. And we always need land. No matter what's happening, who's the president, what pandemic or economic downturn, land is always needed. And when you have the land needed for energy, you're like a Rockefeller. It's the new age oil well. So we happen to be the #1 area where these projects are going. So this is the National Renewable Energy Laboratory map. And the darker the red, the more intense the sun. So if you're a solar energy developer, you obviously want to be where the red is darkest. We happen to be in the #1 location in not just California, who has all the mandates to go 100% green. That's why even international companies have been investing here. Warren Buffett has a 9 square mile project here, as a matter of fact. But it's the #1 location in the entire United States. It's where over $100 billion has already been invested in solar projects, wind projects, and you have to have the infrastructure, the high tension power lines. We've estimated already over $7 billion invested in just high tension power lines, and that continues to go in. And not to mention the amount of money that's now being spent on battery energy storage systems. There's a new one coming in for, actually, no, sorry, $1.6 billion for one project, and they have 3 different sites that they're planning to build out. So here's a list of some of those solar projects that are on the ground in the area where we're investing. This is a massive list and they continue to come in. And let me tell you, these are not little 10-acre projects. These are multiple square miles. As a matter of fact, one is currently under construction. It will be the largest solar project in America, battery energy storage and solar project combined. When it is completed, 13 square miles large. When was the last time you saw 13 square miles in your own backyard being developed? Probably never. Imagine, that's the size of cities, multiple cities. It's huge. We've seen over 200 square miles gone for solar energy projects. So that 13 square mile project, guess who's going to be buying the energy? Amazon data centers. Our energy consumption continues to rise. And the easiest and fastest way, the most economical way, and the cleanest way to meet these demands is with clean energy. That's why countries throughout the globe are in a race to implement as much clean energy as they can, and they will be energy independent, not depending on other countries to, fuel them, especially with so much political unrest these days. It can be quite scary. So, according to the Solar Energy Industries Association, what are they talking about? The industry grows and states explore significant increases in solar penetration. The land necessary for solar projects will become more and more valuable. Again, because they're not making any more of it. We are in the #1 location in California, in the United States, for these projects. And we have the land for it. So if you guys are interested in truly diversifying with a real asset that cannot be hacked, that will never go out of style, that will not disappear, and that will always be there for you, then you want to consider land. That's why the wealthy have always had land as part of their portfolio, because it's the asset that everyone and everything needs. What other investment out there have wars been fought over? Wars are fought over land. And it is being used to create the resource we all use every day. Like Rockefeller says, the major fortunes in America were made with land. Rockefeller, the oil guy, yes. So if you guys are interested in learning more about this opportunity, or hey, if you already have green energy land, congratulations, you are in the right spot. And if you want to get in the right spot, please reach out to me. dirtisgold.com. Spread the love, spread the joy, and I look forward to supporting you in your wealth journey. Take care, everyone.